Hello everyone, welcome to today's class and thank you for joining us today in our class today. So if you can hear my name or you can hear my voice, you can react so that we begin.
Yes, you're audible.
Sipate niko peke yangu. You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can. Okay. Thank you. So welcome to today's class. Today we are going to learn about avocado farming, and also to these people who are doing avocado farming. Um, because it's always good do diverse in your farm. It's not always key to just do one kind of farming alone. So you need also to do different kind of farming that is going to give you uh, different cash in different time of the year. So what you need, what I believe everyone should do in their farm, if you have a farm, is that you should not concentrate on only one crop. You need to maybe two or three crops that are going to give you different source of income throughout the year. So you need to plan very well so that you can have different source of income throughout the year. So that is one thing I really encourage to everyone. I encourage you to do diverse farming because it's going to give you different kind of production every year. Like example, you can do banana farming. Banana farming can give you different diverse source of income. Avocado farming, you can do citrus farming, you can do mango farming, you can do apple farming, you can do grape farming. Any type of farming that you're doing, but just don't major on one alone, one crop alone. It can destroy your crops. Like example, right now, as we have experienced some serious problem due to the heavy rains. We have been experiencing heavy rain than we have experienced before. So our fruit set for like apple trees and said it was very good blooming, but the rain did not do us justice. So it was so heavy to an extent that the tree decided to um, allow the flowers to go down and then focus on just building on it being strong enough so that it can withstand of this kind of challenges. But you see, on us, we don't depend on apple alone. We depend also in avocado farming. So avocado farming is now coming in handy for that aspect because right now we are harvesting our avocados and other avocado, they are still flowering at the same time we are harvesting and they are still flowering. So you see, we still because of that we can the pain that we're going to get is not that much. Okay, so it's always good to not focus on one kind of crop alone. Yes, it's good to specialize in one thing, but not do don't do one crop alone. So always focus on doing several crops. So welcome to today, because today we're going to talk avocado. Let's dive in now to talk about avocado farming in Kenya. In this class, what we're going to discuss is different things, and also we are going to answer majority of the questions people have been asking, and you amazing people, you also been asking about avocados. Um, so what we're going to do is just answer a question. We are not going to dwell on what is the process that in entailing avocado farming, but we're going to discuss on what you can do and majority of, okay, depending on the question we have been asked, that is what we're going to answer that kind of question. So we're going to explain in details the do's and don'ts of farming, mostly on avocados, and how you can increase both the quality and quantity of the avocados. So let's dive in now into the questions. So there's someone who asked this kind of question: when is the best time to plant avocados? So in Kenya, for those who are starting, this is not for those who are not starting, but for those who are starting avocado farming, we have different zones in Kenya. We have the Rift Valley area and also we region, and also we have the eastern region. We also have the, I don't know, eastern. Okay, do we have the northern? I don't know. I'm not sure, but we have different regions in Kenya. So what I've personally I know and I've seen is the Rift Valley region and also the eastern region. Rift Valley tends to be in those regions between Nakuru, um, Uasin Gishu, Bomet, Baringo, and those side of Kisumu, Kericho, those kinds of side. And also, I think also, I'm not sure about Western because I don't know the rain patterns. But when I talk about Rift Valley region, I mean the rain pattern which start from when what do you call the heavy rains or the long rains starts from April to maybe I don't know, it's September or October, right there. So those are the heavy rains. That is in the Rift Valley region, but in eastern region, regions to do with Ukambani, the three parts of Ukambani, Makueni, Kitui, Machakos. I also think about Embu. Embu is still Kajiado. Do we have another eastern region? I'm not sure, but those major regions, those surrounding that area, I know their rains, long rains start from November to January, because now we have a short period of drought, which the drought starts in the month of uh, January and February, and March we are getting to the rains until May. So the best time for planting most of for those in the Rift Valley region is just through in November. From November you can do it. No, in April, sorry. In Rift Valley you start planting when the strong rain starts, the long rain starts, which is in April, and then that is the Rift Valley region, and also in Eastern region we start in November. I don't know about Central region because I don't know their. I'm not very conversant with their rain pattern, so it depends with the rain pattern. So when you grow in avocado, you need to begin when the rains are very good, so that it can establish a very good root system for it, and because the moisture is very good at that time during season, the moisture is very good. And also you need to be very careful, because if your soil does not have a very good drainage system, you are going to face a lot of fungal diseases, more so soil-borne fungal diseases. Example of the fungal soil-borne diseases is root rot. Okay, your avocado can start, their roots can be start rotting, and that it will make your tree to start dying. So you need also to check on that, because if you don't check on that, you will lose a lot of crop because of the issue. So we continue. So those are the major ones. For those who've been asking what the best time for planting, I'm very conversant with Eastern region because I've grown avocado in Machakos, I've grown in Kitui, and also I've grown in Makueni, and also Kajiado. Also in Libreville, I've tried some in Baringo and also Washingishu. So I know, because I've experienced that, and also I've done several in Kitale. So I know those sides, and also Kericho. So I've realized that when you do it the other time, they tend to struggle a lot because of drought. Okay. But when you have water, you can do it up anytime because you have water. But always rainwater has something more unique than the other water. Okay, so we continue. How to choose the right variety of avocado. So in Kenya we have different varieties of avocado, but mostly which is going for export right now is us avocado. We also have fruity avocado. We also have the other name Pinkerton. Yes, we also have Pinkerton avocado. So Pinkerton is a variety of also as avocado. Okay, so those are the varieties of avocado we have. Then there are factors before you choose the right variety. Okay, I've realized, okay, in Kenya we sometimes we do things very naturally. What do we call it? Traditionally, we say something can be done, can do well, can thrive well in a certain different temperature, but you find it's not the ultimate temperature for that variety to do well. Okay, so example in avocado, most so a variety to do so. One thing consider you need to consider about avocados so that you don't have many challenges as you grow them is the temperature tolerance and also attitude. What is your temperature tolerance and also the attitude of your area? Okay, because different varieties thrive in different temperatures. Both as wet and Pinkerton, they thrive in different temperatures. Example, optimal attitude for all of them, they do between 1,000 to 2,100 meters above sea level. So you need to be in an elevation where you need to know your area. Is it above 1,000? Okay, or is it above to between 1,000 to 2,100 meters above sea level? If it's lower than that, like in some part of Ukambani, but Ukambani we find between 800 to 1500 there. So we still um, good to go. Okay, so that is the we are between 800 to 1500 meters above sea level. So you find we can these 200 meters, these 200 before they reach the 1000 meters before for above sea level, we find that we can always maneuver in a different way. So you always want to know which attitude you are in, because when you know your attitude, because different attitude have different challenges, also to do with the pests and diseases. Okay, high attitudes and have high chances of pest. Low attitude have high chances of diseases. So you need to know your attitude first, so that you can know what can be disturbing you. Another thing you need to figure out is the space. Okay, there are some avocado varieties which grow very large. Okay, inji fuete, and I believe people who have grown fuete avocado, you have realized that fuete avocado grow to be very huge. The canopy is very large. It can accumulate a place of almost 9 feet. Okay, that is like 3 meters apart, even four. So you need to know the space of your avocado trees. What kind of spacing do you want to do? Pinkerton is the one. I think it's the mostly people call the what do we call the dwarf ass variety, because Pinkerton is part of that family. So you need to know what kind of space you have for them to grow. Okay, if it's about the market, you go with the according to the market demand. What does the market require at large? Because in our area, they require all of them. They require all the varieties, and they are going almost at the, although us has higher price, but the other ones you find the range. The difference is between 2 shillings to 3 shillings. Okay, so you find that it's not that the margin is not that big. Okay, you also need to know before you choose the right variety. You just know the market that you're going to take your avocados. If it's the for local market, I advocate for fuete. Fuete variety is very good for the local market because it's big and the prices are higher for the local market. But for export market, it's not that higher, as variety tend to be high on the higher side. Okay, so you also need to know about the taste and texture. You need to know about the text and texture of the variety that you're going to do. There are some which can be done for oil, like the normal avocado, the natural one, they can be done for oil. You can also, the texture also, like for us, which is very good, and it has teeth, all rich nutty flavor and creamy texture, which is good for also oil, but mostly it's gone for export market. So you need to know what kind of those factors before now you choose the right variety for you to grow. This is for those who have not yet grown, but for those who have grown, I know you add your own reason for why you started growing your own avocado variety. Okay. Then there's another thing to do with irrigation. Irrigation is very key in avocado farming. Sorry. Okay. Irrigation is very key. Irrigation is very key in avocado farming. So more so during when the tree is very young. That is number one. When the tree is very young, you need to install to maintain the moisture of the avocado. Also, avocado, you need to know that too much excess water can also affect it because of the root rot and some soil-borne fungal diseases. So you need to really know at which rate can you water your plants. Okay, that is the first critical stage, which is when the plants are young. Another critical stage when you need to think about irrigation is when they are flowering. Many flowers can be aborted because of excess water or less water. Okay, but the challenge is when it's during rain season and it's flowering, you cannot control the water, but you can do if you have a very good drainage system. The level of water can be maintained. Uh, so flowering and fruit set is very key, and also fruit enlargement stage, because you want your avocado fruit to have a very good quality and big enough. You need to also check on this stage, a fruit enlargement stage. It will help you to understand what kind of avocado and what of the quality size you need in your trees. So I was saying water stress during this time can cause flower and fruit drop, all poor fruit development and lower yields. So you need to know also that, because if you don't give it enough water, it can cause this fruit drop, poor fruit development, and lower yields. Okay. For irrigation, drip irrigation is one of the best ways, but you need to know this. I'll put some in this picture. There are different irrigation methods. So in the first one, there's button trips. Okay, button trips are the red things. Okay, so if you do one button trip for this is, I think, for every fruit tree. If you do one in at a younger stage, the fruit is very okay. But for a bigger tree, when the tree is very big, you will find that the tree struggles to get enough water. So what do other people do? They tend to add another button trip. Sometimes it works very effectively, sometimes it does not work. It does not work effectively. So another thing you can do is also add another button drip, another line, okay, so that each side can effectively have enough water. Okay, you can also do this. There's a button drip, but which looks like a sprinkler, a very small one. I think it's called something jet, something jet. I'm not sure about the name, but it's called a jet. Like this is one in the avocado tree. So you put it, that one act like a sprinkler behind on the roots of the avocado tree, and it tends to give the avocado tree enough moisture and enough water for it to contain. You can also see you need to do a lot of mulching if you don't have ants in your all termites in your area. Mulching will help the moisture to be retained throughout the year. Okay, but if you have soil-borne diseases, you have to treat them first before mulching, because mulching can also encourage a lot of soil-borne diseases. So you need to know even about your soil first. Okay. Um, so about watering, I think I'm done. So uh, the amount of water each avocado tree needs depends on where your area is. It also depends on the age of the tree, depends on the climate, the soil type, and also the crop load. Okay. So if you have many, crop load means that how many plants do you have? So that will determine the amount of water you need in your plants. Also, you need to Okay, so when the tree is young, you don't give you cannot give water compared to a large tree, a big tree, more than 2 to 3 years. So you need also to know at which stage can I increase the production. As the tree increases in size, you also need to also the water level, the watering should also increase. Like example, when it is young and you're giving it like we can day per week you're giving it like 20 liters. Okay, you find that the moisture is still good for a small tree. For a bigger tree, 20 liters per week is very low. Okay, all for a flowering tree. So you need to increase maybe to 40 or 60 or 90, okay, liters per week. So it's always depend on the size of the tree. And also it will tell you, the tree will communicate to you. Honestly, I've come to learn that living with trees, they will always teach you what they want and what they don't want. That is one thing I've come to realize as I live in the farm, is that when you give them less water, they will always communicate. When you give them excess water, they will always communicate. So you need to be very observant to know what kind of watering it needs, and it will communicate to you to tell you whether it is enough or it's not enough. Okay. So let's go to another questions. So those that someone was asking about hydration or irrigation of avocado trees. So I hope they are answered. If they have more questions, you can also ask or text in the chat so that we answer all of them. But let's continue first. Flower habits some tough words which you need to know as a farmer, or if you have a manager, you need to train your people. So avocado are very funny and unique plants. Okay, They exhibit a very unique flowering pattern. The pattern is called photogynous dichogamy. Okay, photogynous dichogamy. So it's just a it's just a scientific name, but it means this: each flower opens twice. Okay, flowers are funny. They open twice. One day they open as a female, and then as a male. You see, that is very interesting. They open first as a female, and then they open as male. Okay. This means that any individual flower will initially open with receptive female organs close and then reopen on the following day with the functional male organs. Okay. Why do they do this? What do they produce when they do it? Today they open as a women, a female, and then tomorrow they open as a male. This helps in the pollination of the fruit tree of the avocado tree so that you can have a good production in this process, the scientific process. So this helps that in pollination, as the bees comes in the farm, they can pollinate today, the flowers for tomorrow, and then as they come again, they pollinate so that you can have this kind of production, a very good flowers are all fruit set in each flower. Okay, so so a mature trees, avocado, which mature trees start from 5 years to 10 years as it continues to grow. It can produce excess of millions of flowers. I believe everyone who has avocado, they have seen you can have so many flowers in one tree. Okay, but during the flowering period, most of which fall without producing fruit. And this is this aspect. So why do some flowers drop before they form a fruit set? Okay, so when what you need to know about fruit set, what you need to know about avocado, why they are both much. Number one is very key. You need to know that anyone, even as human, you cannot carry excess luggage than you can bear. Okay, so you only carry what you can bear. That is naturally the way things work out. Okay, so that is number one. Don't allow a fruit tree which is more than 2 years. You want it to carry more than 500 fruit. That is not possible. Okay, yes, it can give you maximum flowers, both of thousands of flowers, but it's not going to give you that kind of production. Okay, but when it reaches the fifth year, yes, you can allow it even to give you a maximum of 500 to 800 fruits. But at early stage, it cannot give you that because you are straining the avocado tree not to give you quality production in the future. Because when it is mature is when it is allowed to give as many quality fruits as possible. But when you start making it produce when it is young, you are destroying the future potential of the tree to produce so much fruit and flowers. So that is one thing you need to know. Another reason why they are bought. Okay, but this thing you need to check. But from the third year, now you can give it as maximum production. You can allow it to start producing very well. But in 2 years, 1 year, please don't allow it to produce that much. Even if you apply a lot of boron, zinc, sulfur, all these necessary essential nutrients needed to prevent flower abortion, all pollination, they are not going to produce when it's young. That is one thing we need to learn and accept, that we need to allow our fruits to reach a certain stage so that it can give us maximum production, and we don't make it be like what do we call them, standard, to have a standard growth. Okay, um then what about fruiting time? So someone was asking about fruiting time. So avocados, whether it's grown from a graft or seed, they take a few years to produce fruit. Okay, grafted tree basis, for people who want to know, is that grafted tree generally start bearing fruit after 2 years to 4 years. So some depends with how you allow your production to start. So some trees can start from 2 years. Other trees even go to 4 years before they start producing. Okay, and they are grafted. And one thing I've come to learn is that the person who does not allow the fruit trees to start bearing fruit at 2 years, and I know Kenyans, we love quick things. That is our nature. But I've come to learn that for any person who allow them to not to flower at first year, second year, but the third year, to have a good production from the third year, the production is more. It's multiple for more massive than the person who allowed them to start producing earlier. Because I've been researching about people who have been like Peru in Brazil, how they allow their production of fruits to start. They always start from the third year to the fourth year. But as Kenyans, and I think Africans, we love allowing. We enjoy seeing them start producing early. In the like 1 year, we are excited. The second year, but you find you have affected the life cycle of that tree. It is start producing in the late. You will be having few fruits. A tree which has potential to give you over 500 fruits, it's now giving. It's now when it's the right time to start producing because you have injured its production state. It is giving you like 200, 300, or even 100 fruits, and it's a very big tree because of what? Allowing it to start fruiting early. Okay, so that is something, the honest truth we need to understand as Kenyans, and we need to work on it. Yes, it's painful to wait, but also as we wait, it's time. Time does time will always pass. Okay. Uh, so for avocado trees, the traditional one, which are grown from seed, some can take between 5 years to 10 years, others even 15 years, so that you can start producing. So those mostly are the traditional avocados. They take longer because they are not grafted. Grafted ones start early, producing early. So graft just because you're taking the scion from producing fruit, it just lowers the time of production and also the growth of the plant. So grafting is very good, but I don't say grafting is very good. So please also make sure, even if you have commercial farm, make sure you have just one traditional avocado fruit. Maybe the future generation which is coming, they will not know what avocado, traditional avocado looked like, So we also need to maintain some in our farms as we grow them. Don't cut all the traditional one and graft to um, the 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 um, the grafted ones. Okay, so it's also good to have those way. Okay, so also the production depends on the factor like climate. In some areas it start producing early, other areas it takes more time to start producing. There's also cultural management and also the tree age. This is the factors that make the tree one know when is the right time to start producing. Okay, so avocado from flower to
This
harvest,
tree, yeah,
they mostly
we
take
have
between
different
five.
things growing.
It depends with the variety.
We have grafted
Some
different.
take 5 months, others 6 months, others 7 months, others 8 months. The one which can stay for long is 10 months. Okay, so avocado can from flower to be ready for harvest, because there was someone who was asking how at which stage do you know your avocados are ready for harvest, more so for export or for local consumption. More so for local, for export they are the one which take short time, which is 5 months from flower to when the fruit is ready for now harvest. It takes 5 months. You can do your records and you'll
Aerial.
tell. You can tell when you have the records, you'll tell from flowers. Like example, when they flower today, I have to count 5 months. Okay, 5 months from today. This today is April,
What?
so 5 months is May, June, May, June, July, August, September. So in September, I'll be having another fruit set. Okay, so you need to know how many months your avocado takes. But majority for export, they take 5 months. For local consumption, the one you want to start eating, consuming, they take between the 7th month to the 10th month, so that they can be ready for consumption. You can also do your records, and you will know the right time. Okay. Also, this depends on the variety and also ecological conditions. So in warmer regions, please note this: in warmer region, they tend to take shorter times, but in a colder region, they tend to take longer. Okay, because of the coldness. Okay, but in the warm regions, they tend to mature faster than the colder regions. Okay. It's like any other crop. In like when you grow maize in warm area, they always they can be ready in between 70 to 80 days. But now in colder region, they take between 90 to 100 days. You see, so there's always difference between the regions, okay, ecological region you are in. I hope the one for fruit set and timing has been answered on that. Then now we come to fruit managing flowering and fruiting of avocado. So how do you manage your flowers? How do you manage your fruiting of avocados? And there was a question: is it possible to manage the flower and fruiting in avocado orchard? And yes, it's true. Yes, it's very possible to manage this. And this can be done through several things. Number one, it can be done through pruning. So you need to know when is the right time for me to prune my avocado trees. Okay. For the first 1 to 2 years, you need to concentrate on foliage. Foliage means that you need your avocado to have as many branches as possible, and so that your avocados are covered. When they produce, they are covered from sunburn and other pests. You also need to know through the pruning, you need to know your avocado have a very good air circulation, because if they don't have air circulation and exposure to sunlight, it's going to be attacked by a lot of fungal diseases. We are going to mention the fungal diseases in also. I think we are in slide 8, and we have 19 to go. So we are going to also to discuss about those diseases that you know them because of not getting exposure to sunlight, and also disease no, exposure to sunlight and air circulation is not good in avocado. So the reason why you do pruning so that you can have that kind of production. Okay, so there's also another thing you need also to check so that you can manage your flowering and fruiting, is that there's consistent irrigation management. Okay, if there's no rain, you need to have a very consistent irrigation management. Okay, so that your plants do not lack moisture. Okay, for them to continue producing, absorbing the nutrients in the soil, all those kind of stuff. Then you need also to ensure nutrient timing and balance. Okay, we have known that avocados from flowering to fruit set can start from 5 to 10th month. So you need to know which time is it perfect for me to start doing the nutrient timing, and when can I balance, because there are different nutrients which avocado, we are going to talk about them, they are just below. We're going to talk about the nutrients which are needed in the avocado trees. So what nutrients timing do I need to do? How do I balance it, and at what time? Okay. Then there's thinning and fruit load management. So this is very, I know Kenyans do not love to hear this. There's thinning and fruit load. Thinning is means that if the fruit has excess fruit, like any flower bud, if a flower bud has excess fruit, bear me witness, this is very true. You are not going to get very big and quality fruits, because um, they are competing for the nutrients. So what you need to do is that you need to do some thinning. If you find a cluster of flowers more than 5, you need to thin some. Maybe sacrifice 2, you remain with 3, and we'll have a very quality product. Even if they are measured in kgs, you are going, even your quality will be very high. Okay, but when you try to have maximum production, you're not going to attain that kind of quality which is needed mostly for the market, and quantity at the same time. But and what we are targeting is quality and quantity. Okay, so thinning is very key. So farming is not easy, it needs a lot of work. That is the honest truth. And you need to be in the farm all to have someone who knows what to do, so that they can be trained on how to manage everything, so that your crop can always be giving you return, because it's an investment that you have done. So there's also another thing which is maintaining uniform tree spacing. Spacing depends on you. If you want to do intensive, you can do 4 meters by 4 meters. That is very intensive. The recommended one is 9 meters by 9 meters, but not everyone has that big space like kakuzi. Although kakuzi have just higher land in Kenya, but you need to, if you have maximum a big space, you can do 9 meters by 9 meters from one tree to another. That one you will not concentrate on more pruning because your tree will be have a very good space. But now, because people are now getting to intensive, they do 4 meters by 4 meters, others do 5 meters by 5 meters, others 6 meters by 6 meters, or they start differentiating 5 meters from plant to plant, and between rows they do 4 meters. It always depends on what you want and the capacity you want to achieve and how you want to manage your plants. So that depends with the person, okay, and your own decision. But the recommended one people always recommend is maybe 9 meters by 9 meters or 9 meters from plant to plant, and they say 6 meters or 8 meters or 7 meters. It's always your choice, but they always recommend higher spacing for avocado because even if you have dwarf right now, they will always grow. Okay, the honest truth, and according to what I've learned, is that you can be sowed an avocado tree thinking it's a dwarf. It's not a dwarf. With time, it's going to grow and be a very massive tree. When it reaches its 7 years, 8 years, you realize, this is not dwarf anymore. It's growing to be a very big tree. Okay. But what I've come to learn is that you need to learn how to prune those trees. When they reach a certain stage, you need to prune them so that they can rejuvenate again and start producing again. Also, when it reaches 15 years, it starts producing less. So you need to cut it down so that it can start coming back again and it start producing as young as it was again. So through these practices, you can create a uniformity and thus a streamline harvest. Okay. So what is the nutrition program do you need in your avocado trees if you're growing avocados? This is the nutrition program you need to check on. Number one, you need to know for post harvest, month 1 to month 2. Okay. So the first 1 month, when it starts, um, before your trees start producing, you need to give it a lot of nitrogen. Nitrogen helps a tree to encourage a lot of vegetative growth. So if you see any nitrogen in your plants, just know the main purpose of nitrogen in any plants is for vegetative growth. Okay. Just a minute, I drink some water. Sorry, I'm back. So any nitrogen in the soil is that it's going to help you have a very vegetative growth. So what can you get from? Or how do you apply nitrogen? Number one, you can do different ways. You can use farmyard manure, the manure you have to have. You can also use compost manure. If you have compost, you can use compost. Number two, if you want to go the synthetic way, you can also apply a fertilizer, i.e. nitrogen. Okay. Four, the purpose of the first month to the second month is just for us to have a very vegetative growth on our fruit trees. You don't want to have a tree which does not have very high vegetative. So we want to work on the vegetativeness of the tree so that you can get a good cover of your the fruit tree. Okay. Now month 3 to 4, which is about flowering. Okay. These things are I've just said month 1 to 3. So you need to know according to your own production, what month does my flowers start coming up? Okay. So when you know when your flowers start coming up, you go 2 months earlier. It's when you start applying the the nitrogen and farmyard manure. So these you need to go back according to the plan you have in the farm. That's why you need to keep any farmer, any farm manager, or any someone in the farm. You need to keep records because they will help you know what is the right timing for my crops. Okay, and it will help you realize and plan it well. So in flowering, okay, in flowering, what you need to do is that month to fourth month, you need to apply a lot of phosphorus. Phosphorus will help in one thing. It will help in root and flower initiation. Phosphorus ni kama, what do we call this thing? It's a trigger. It triggers the the flower buds to open. Okay, so it's very good, but mostly the key function of phosphorus is just for roots. And the roots, if it's working on the root, it means that because the roots are healthy, they are going to take the enzymes or the food from the soil and give it back to the plant, and now initiation the flowers. During the flower, the key things you need is boron and zinc. You can also add some sulfur, some trace element of sulfur and also calcium. They also help in that kind of stage. Okay. So flowering stages, you need two key things: the boron and zinc. They are very key. You can do as foliar fertilizers, or you can do as the one you can do in the soil, fertilizer in the soil. So make sure in during the flowering stage you apply phosphorus, you apply boron or zinc. Okay, that will help you. So from flowering to early fruiting, okay, that is month 5 to 6, you apply a potassium. Potassium helps in this key thing. Potassium helps in making your fruits bigger. That is the key thing for potassium. And also it helps in making your fruits bigger. Okay, so if you want to have bigger fruit and sweeter fruits, potassium is very key. So it's what you apply mostly in Itangwa K. Potassium is K. So if you see a foliar fertilizer with multiple K or MK, it's always good. It's good. It's very good after. Now this you apply mostly on the early fruiting set, when the fruit has set. So to maintain that, so that you don't have a lot of abortion of the fruit, you need to maintain micronutrients like boron, the zinc. Hapa sijaandika zinc, but it's very key: zinc, magnesium, and also manganese. So these are micronutrients. Micronutrients are very essential mostly when it comes to fruiting and fruit set formation. So make sure you concentrate on this boron, magnesium, and magnesium and manganese. Okay. Then in fruit development, now the fruit has already formed. When you have a fruit, the small bud, the small two fruits, at that stage, what you apply mostly is potassium and calcium for the size and quality. So calcium is one which keeps your, you see, there are some, not avocados, I'm not sure about avocados, but I've seen other fruits like pomegranate, apples, citrus. What I've seen in them, they start, when they get more moisture, more water, they start splitting in the middle. Zinakatika katikati. So what you need to do is when you don't apply calcium, it calcium is very essential for strong skin of the plant and also the smoothness of the fruit. So when you want a fruit which is smooth, you need calcium at this stage, which is the fruit development stage. For any crop, for any fruit tree, that is not avocado alone, but for mostly fruit trees, you need this. Knowing these nutrients factors, they will help you have a very good crop. Okay, that is that you will have a very good production. So you need at this fruit development stage, you need to maintain the potassium and calcium, and this will help you have two things: the size of the fruit, which the quality, which is will be good quality, and also the quality you find it does not have defects. Okay. In this stage, you need to reduce nitrogen to avoid excessive foliage. So if you're applying a lot of nitrogen, all NPK in this, when the N is high, the nitrogen is high, you'll have excessive foliage more than fruits. So you need to avoid nitrogen at this stage. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. So there's okay. Sorry, guys. There was a slide I did not talk about, but we have finished on this one on the nutrition program. The nutrition program we have done. So we go back just a bit. So one thing you need to know is that you need bees in the avocado chart so that um, you avoid abortion of your fruits. Okay. So beehives will help you for the pollination. It's also very good for your honey. You need honey. Okay. so for your health. So it's very good. And what how many hives do you need per hectare? Okay, per acre all per acre. So minimum you can have, each acre needs between 2 to 5. Minimum you can have is 2, maximum you can have is 5 um, hives. Okay, this also depends on the flower density. If the flowering is much, don't have beehives when you are still planting. You need to have hives when your fruits are really grown and they are very high. Okay, so this will prevent a lot of abortion from your avocado trees. Okay, so also ensure they are placed near the flowering zone. Don't put them away in the farm where there is no flowering. So put them near the flowering zone, which should be strategic placement. Uh, yeah. So and also it's also you need to keep the bees. You need to keep the bees to have a very good environment, not just a place where they're struggling. So hives are very key, and minimum for each acre you need two. Maximum you can have is 5. Okay. So when you have 5, it means that you have more acres, but you put in the middle, between the middle of the plants, and where the high pollination is good, there's high production. Okay. So we go. So we talked about the nutrition program. We go to next, which is FCM and fruit fly trap farming. Okay. So this picture is not clear. I don't know. My pictures. Okay. So there's for Scott moth. So there's one major. This is a pest, and this is a pest. One major issue avocado farmers are facing this kind of issue. I don't know if you can see this avocado with this with white color in the middle. I'm going to share more pictures below. I think there are more pictures. So there's something, a very bad pest called force called the moth in Itangwa FCM, and also there's fruit fly. So these guys are very dangerous to your avocado fruit. For they make you not have a very quality fruit. Okay, I think there was a picture which was shared in the group also for those in the group that shows about this kind of pest. How the avocado tree, the fruit has been tempered with by a fruit. So this is one of the issues. It's called for scalding moth, all a fruit, and also there's fruit fly. So what you need traps, more so during fruit set of the trees. When there's fruit set, you need to have those traps. In agrovet, I think they are sold in agrovet. A time before, there's someone who taught us how to do it. I don't know if I know for fruit fly, but I'm not sure about the for scalding moth if it still catches that. But you need to do the traps in the avocados. Okay. The trap should be set up before the first peak flight of the pest and increased when the crop is in season. So the trap should be increased when the crop is in season. When you have many avocados, you need to set the traps to be there. Okay. The pheromone traps when ripening and ripe fruits are present to check the presence of. So you need to continue checking the presence of the fruit fly of the FCM during when the fruit is almost ready for harvest, and also during when the before when it's still the plant, the tree, the fruit is still young. Okay. And also this is why you need to be encouraged to do a lot of scouting. Scouting will help you understand, do I have some effect with my fruits? So if you have effects, you know what to do. Okay. So when you want to control this, you place the traps on onset of the fruiting. When the fruiting starts is when you put the traps, and they will help you control this pest. Okay, yes, I think there's another pest and disease in avocados. So if the pest example of the pest, okay, that is disease. Example of the pest, I think someone shared a picture like this one. So this is what we call for scalding moth. It's what affects the fruits to have this kind of the white stuff, most of the white stuff. When you see the white stuff in this avocado, and also there's it's a larvae ball into fruit, causing internal rot. So when you find your avocado has started rotting inside, it's what affects. That is the pest which is called FCM. There's also fruit flies. They lay eggs in fruits and maggots and causes rotting. I know people know about fruit fly, so you need also to protect your avocados from that. There's also scales which suck the sap and weaken trees. We also have thrips. Thrips zinafanya your avocados to have very, they give scars. Like you see this one. This can be thrips and also can be a foscody modes. Can be in two in one. Okay. Thrips make scars. They make it look rough. When your avocado trees, when you find your fruits are looking rough, those are thrips. They tend to come to the young fruits and also leaves. Okay. We also have mites, which cause leaves speckling and yellowing. Okay. We also have diseases like anthracnose. It causes black fruit spot and post harvest rot. Also on the leaves, you get very dark black fruit spots. Okay. There's another one called phytophthora root rot that leads to root. I think this is basically the root rot. Just forget the scientific name, but it's just basically root rot. Inafanya your plant to die. Okay. There's also powdery mildew in avocado, white powder on young leaves and also flowers. Then kuna sunbroach, pyrroid. So this can cause poor yield and causes fruit streaks. When you see sun blotch is the one you see, it's like a sunburn in avocado trees. They just tend to have that kind of yellowish color, okay, in them. And also there's another root rot called Amilaria. It causes wilting of the avocado and also the death of the avocado. I think now, okay, this is the one I wanted to show you. Okay, so what you can do in your phone, because I know I'm very sure this is, in a laptop you can see it's very clear, but in a phone, if you're using your phone, it's very tiny. So you can zoom in. Using your phone, you can zoom in so that you can see everything. Okay, what we are talking about. So there are aphids. How to identify aphids? Okay, this is pest and disease of avocado. So we have aphids. Aphids, how do you identify aphids? They are tiny, soft-bodied insects that attack fruit trees by sucking the fluid from young leaves. They are brown. The aphid can be green. They can also be brown. They can be reddish, and also they can also be whitish and also blackish, grayish, and also blackish, and also covered with light powdery, dusty. They can also be very white. Okay, like the woolly aphids. So they have different colors, like you can see in avocado. So if you zoom in, there's in figure 28, if you can see figure 28, there's aphids. You can see them in that avocado shoot. That is a shoot. So they look that way. Okay. How do you um how do you treat it? Treatment and management. You need to do weeding is one of the major things that cause aphids is weeding. Okay. If you have a lot of weeds in the farm, make sure just know that your orchard will have a lot of aphids. So one thing you need to do is timely weeding. Don't allow a lot of weeds in the farm. There's also orchard hygiene and sanitation, which is very key. You can use natural enemies like parasitic wasp and raise beetles and among others. So if you have beetles, you have wasp in your farm, they will help because they are very natural enemies for aphids. Okay, someone can use the resistant varieties. If you are the one, if you are starting now planting avocado, you need to use resistant varieties that they are not mostly affected by aphids. But if you are already planted the avocado trees, you need to check another way to control them. You can use a contact all synthetics insecticide. You can do organic, you can do synthetic. The choice is still yours. Okay, with following active ingredients. So these are the ingredients you need if you want to control aphids. You need your any insecticide that you're using. It should have a imidacloprid, acephate, or among others. So these are things you can screenshot this one so that it can help you as you go to the aggregate to buy anything. They tell you. Okay. So you can also alternate various chemicals. So you can just, it's all about alternating the whatever you spray. You need to alternate it so that the wadudu, they don't build resistance. Okay, you mix the chemical with Integra or any other sticker. So if you have stickers, you can use sticker as you mix your chemicals so that it can help in to attach ishike the leaf or the stem of the plant. Okay, now there's another pest called stem end rot. Okay, stem end rot. This is a fungal disease. Stem end rot looks like this avocado. You can see an avocado there, how it is start rotting from the tip going back. So that is it's a fungal disease. Okay, it begins dark brown nodes start to rot, begin a stem. It can start in the stem or it can also touch a fruit. Okay, it also has similar issues, symptoms like the one for drunkenness. It also act the same way. Okay, how do you do it? How do you treat and manage? So one thing you need to do is avoid injury fruits or wounds, provide an entry point for pathogens. So any fruit tree, any fruits which are maybe have fallen to the farm and they have injury or they have wounds, just know that they are encouraging pathogen, they're encouraging diseases in the farm. So you need to take them away. You can go burn them. You can also put them dig a hole of more than 2 feet and then throw them there. So don't allow any fruit to decay in the farm. More so when it has all this, it has challenges to do with fungal disease. Um, you can also apply fungicide to manage the disease in the field. So any fungal diseases, mostly fungal diseases are controlled through a fungicide. But a challenge is when it is already at this stage, you cannot control it. It's already beyond control. Okay, so we go to another one, avocado scamp disease. This is the scamp. I think you can see in the picture here. So you see it's very rough. The avocado tree is very rough. So this is what we call avocado scamp disease. Okay, what you need to know about this disease is that it causes lesions which appear as small dark spots slightly raised on fruit, and it gives a cocky appearance to the surface of the fruit. So you see this fruit, even taking it to the market, no one is going to buy it. Okay, maybe for the local market, for those who are consuming, they will buy, but it's not appealing. Okay, so this is avocado scamp, looks like that. Okay, this is a fungal disease. You need to know that this is a fungal disease. So what you need to apply fungicides to protect it. Okay, uh, what you need to do for not to have these challenges, one is the proper orchard sanitation engine, timely weeding, pruning, sterilizing pruning tools, and removing plants debris and rotten fruits, among others. So these are key things you need to work on the farm. You also need to ensure proper watering and pruning so that you can have air circulation and sunlight exposure to avoid all these kind of fungal diseases. So so you need also to have a fungicide spray program with the following active ingredients. So there are different fungicides you can use to control this one. They are named in this. Okay, you can come back to this video. It's on YouTube so that you can learn again about them. So there's metiram, there's benomil, there's probineb. So there are a lot of active ingredients you can look about. They are different so that you can apply in different times. Okay. Then there's white flies. I know everyone know white flies. They are white like you can see in the leaf. That how it looks like. Okay. What do you do to them? You ensure proper weeding. So if you don't, you see, hygiene is very key for the because pests mostly are caused by hygiene of your farm. So if you have a very good hygiene, you will not have issues to do with a pest. Okay. So to control white flies, you need to use traps. You can use the blue one or the yellow ones. They will help. Also have pesticides with pyrethroid. hiyo kitu hii kitu iko hapa. I just okay, I don't know why I'm forgetting to pronounce it, but it's just an ingredient in it. It has some pyrethrum in it, so you need to apply it. Okay. Then there's fruit fly. You can see they have avocados huku chini. There they look. They have whitish things and they have dark spots with that whitish things. That is the cause. That is white fly. That is how it looks. You can zoom in if you are not seeing it very clearly. You can zoom in and see it. So how do you do it? How do you prune the orchard to improve aeration? So mostly your pests and diseases tend to attach to plants which are not prunes and avocado trees which are not pruned. So you need to prune well to avoid that. Um, Also, you need to harvest mature and not overripe fruits which attract fruit flies. So fruit fly are mostly attracted by attract by mature fruits which are not harvested. So you need to harvest them timely. What you need to do, you can preserve natural enemies like beetles, ants, parasites, wasps, and birds. They can help in control. If you have these animals, beneficial animals, they can help in controlling fruit flies. Also, if you don't have these ones, what you need to do is basically work on a spray program. That is, there's a lot of sprays we can control fruit flies. Okay. Mhm. So we have avocado root rot. Root rot is what causes an avocado to look like this. It is start dying. It is big, but it start dying. So it's a fungal diseases also in the soil, which is caused by excess moisture. If there's excess moisture in the soil, it causes a lot of root rot, avocado root rot. Okay. Um, your avocado start yellowing, it will start yellowing and falling of leaves. Okay. There's also wilting and dieback of shoots and lead to new leaves growth. Trunks can show water soak, cankers, and blackened roots which rot and die within time. So if you don't avoid this, if you see this kind of, you can see this picture below. If you don't control it at this the right time, you are going to be you are going to lose your tree. So make sure you check on this. How do you control it? So there are host of these things are like Grevillea. If you have Grevillea in your farm, acacia, eucalyptus, casalina, etc. These trees are host of these fungus root rot issue. So they changia in that cause. Okay. You can also remove and destroy diseased trees in the orchard. You can also avoid moving soil of all water from infested area. Sterilize farm tools before and after use. So, but the thing is, yeah, you need to drench the soil with trichoderma to limit the spread. So one thing you need to do is drench the soil with trichoderma. If you go to aggravate and ask for the trichoderma, they will always provide for you. You can also do mulching and ensure good soil health. Use resistant varieties. Use fungicides with the following ingredients: kuna magozyme, kuna sulfur, kuna copper hydroxide, and other more. You can read them there. Okay. Then there's another challenge called mealybugs. I see we have like 15 minutes. E class in coming imekuwa long, so that we can end the class. Okay. So we have also mealybugs. Mealybugs by this, they look this way. You can see in this picture. Okay. Mealybugs mostly affect purples. I believe people who are farming for purple, they have seen this kind of issues in their trees. How do you treat mealybug? It's just by pruning. Number one, you avoid the alternative host. We have the okay. So another thing you need to do to control mealybugs is just through insecticides. You can use insecticides that will help you control mealybugs. Okay, the one for fruit fly for FCM, they can help in that also in controlling mealybugs. Or you can ask for a insecticide that is helping controlling mealybugs. both organic or synthetic. The choice is still yours. Okay, but I always or encourage organic. But when the you have so much challenge, sometimes you need to go to synthetic way so that you can control fast, so that you can go back to organic way. Okay, it depends with what you have in the farm and what you're facing. Okay, now we have red rust you can see in this one. Okay, this is rust, like you can see in this spot, this picture, the first picture here. This is the red rust. It causes algae spots. It is tiny, okay, rust colored spots of leaf. What you need to do is it's a fungal diseases. This is a fungal diseases mostly caused by heavy rains. So what you need to do is copper-based fungicide will always help you to control this kind of issue. Kuna avocado leaf bugs. You can see like this avocado how it has curled the leaf. Alafu katikati it has some like something which is it has burned. Okay, inakaa imechomeka katikati. So these are avocado race bugs. So you need what? How do you control it? You can apply insecticidal soaps, horticultural oils, neem oil, or pyrethrin. It will help you control these. Okay. Uh, then there are scales. The final one, you can see here there are scales. These scales, how you can control the scales, it's just use of pesticides like bupropion during crawlers active stage. So it's just insecticide that you're going to use, a pesticide that is going to control these scales. In term, but for more questions, you are allowed to ask us, and we are going to help you. Okay, so it's time for questions. If you have a question, you can ask, so that way naona class iko almost kuisha, but you can take few questions if kona swali, and then we close today's class. So, and thank you for listening. Thank you so much for listening. So if you have a question, please you can ask, so that we can continue as we almost finish the class.
So to be successful with the John here, to be successful with avocado, availability of water seems to be mandatory. You have to be able
Yes, it's
to
very key.
control. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes, it's very, very key, so that you can have a very maximum production.
okay.
I don't I think it's not only avocado. I think it's like for every fruit tree. For you to have a good production, for every fruit trees you need to have access to water, which is very, very key.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, John.
If you
Another
opt
question, please.
for, sorry, just one more, then I'll let other guys also
Yes,
ask. If you
you
opt
please.
to get maybe irrigation from a river, would
Yeah.
you need to, was it a good idea to try and treat it before applying it, or you can assume that from upstream the water should be good enough?
No, you don't assume. What I think you need to know is just know the source of the river. If it's from a place where you think it has companies which are emitting more what do we call them, ions, or more, it's like water coming from the street of like Nairobi river. If you see at Nairobi, a river like Nairobi, you know how it is it has a lot of challenges to do with dumping of a lot of things which are not good for humans. So you need, if it's like that source, you need to be very careful what you're growing, because it's going to affect you in the wrong run. But if you know the source of the water is river, the source is very good, you're good to go. And also, if you also need to do that, there are people who are doing testing of water. You can your water can be tested, and you are told what kind of impurity it has, if it is good for irrigation, or if it's not good for irrigation. Yeah, you can always learn, and also you can always tell, and it will tell, they will tell you whether your water is very clean. If it's very good, you're good to go. No, you're welcome. Yes, Mary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm asking,
Yes,
What do
please.
you recommend to sterilize the tools that are used for pruning?
Okay. There are many things you can do. If you are not Christian, don't use alcohol. Alcohol is one of the things you can use. Alcohol. You can also use spirit, and you can also use zinc. Jik, not zinc. It's jik. Those are key things. You can use alcohol. You can use spirit, or you can use jik. It will help.
Do you need to dilute the jig or you just use it the way it is?
You can dilute one ako kafuniko kamoja
Mm.
to like not 1 liter, like ile kikombe inakwanga how many mls? I'm not sure, but you need to dilute it, but a bit, not so much.
Kikombe kama ile ya 300 mls.
Aka kadogo ka plastic hii inakwanga ya thermos juu.
Okay.
I don't know how
It's
many ml
200
is
to
it.
250 ml.
Yes, that one. So you do it with
Okay.
the cup ya juu inakwanga imeandikwa kwa hiyo jig.
Okay.
But if it's
Thank
spirit you
you.
don't dilute it, unaweka tu. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Ocheng, yes. Someone else had raised their hand.
Ochieng, you're muted.
Okay. Let me see how I can unmute him. Ocheng, kindly you can unmute and also talk to us, please.
Hello,
Hello, yes.
hello.
Hello, we are listening. Ocheng, we are listening to you.
I suspect he has a network challenge. Maybe he can come in later.
Okay, no problem. Any other person with a question? Or you can text. Can text and we'll answer. So I believe there's no another person with that question. I think the class was clear. So I just want to thank you all. Thank you for joining, and thank you for creating time to learn. Also, me, I'm learning. So thank you for creating time. So I pray you enjoy a very nice weekend, and God azidi kuwabariki. Oh, okay. So maybe Ocheng, you can take Samuel and we'll make sure we respond to his question, because naona class iko almost kuzimiwa na Google Meet. So thank you guys for joining, and thank you. Have a good time and have an amazing night. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Karibuni.